Hey everybody, how you doing? We've been getting pounded by earthquakes pretty close to 188 days apart. So let's see what many of you are already up on. Some of you are not. I'll bring you up to speed. Now, we already know about Fiji having a 7.2. I showed two, a 7.3 and a 7.2 on the 15th. That is one source that shows two. We're going to move along the Ring of Fire. Banatao gets some, a 5.6 on the 16th. Santa Cruz Islands gets some, a 4.9 on the 17th. Australia looks pretty solid at the moment. And let us not forget the 6-pointer on the 15th, east of the North Island of New Zealand. They have already felt it also. And we'll swing around. Indonesia at the moment is mainly 4s. There's the 4.8 in the Banda Sea. There's a 5 in Indonesia. 4.9 on the 15th. But as we go upward, 5.2 on the 16th in Philippines, we see, unfortunately, Japan is having a hard time again. It came upon them. And there's the 6.2 on the 15th. And I'm going to go enlarge it so we can look at all of them. They've got a 5.6 on the 16th. A 6.0 on the 16th. A 6.6 on the 16th. A 5.9 on the 17th. A 5.5 on the 16th. And a 4.9 on the 17th. And a 5.2 on the 16th. So we get the total picture of what is going on at the moment right there in Japan. Rapid fire. We swing up. We already know about, I show the two 6.1s in Alaska. The mainland is pulsating with 2s and 3s. They did have a 4.1 on the 15th. And they also had a 4.5 on the 15th. And the 4.1 in the Canada region on the 15th. Now up here in Washington, 16th, they had a 2.7. Even though they're low magnitude, these places are feeling them, and they shouldn't be getting them. A 2.2 on the 16th in Wyoming, a 3.0 on the 15th in Utah, a 3.8 next door to me, September 16th in New Mexico. California is littered with a whole bunch of 1s and 2s right now. So at the moment it's low magnitude. Come on down here and you had a 4.1 on the 16th in Mexico. Now this one here to me was really weird. I've seen them drop them before, but I was awake late that night. Like I always say, I'm up late. And this said 6.0 whenever I put the bulletin up, and that was really shocking to come the next day and see that they had downgraded it to a 5.1. But anyhow, as it stands, they've still recorded 5.1 Cuba region. And then you come around here to the Virgin Islands and you see a 3 and a 3.2, and Puerto Rican region's 3. So they're relatively low at this time, but they usually get that all the time. And a 4.4 south of Panama on the 16th, and a 4.9 in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge on the 16th, and a 4.2 on the 16th near the coast of central Peru. Europe at the moment appears to be silent for the main part. Greece does not seem to be active today. They had been. 16th, 4.6, southern Iran. 4.5, 14th, Afghanistan. 5.1, 15th, China. So, we know that we are increased in magnitude, and we know that we're lining up planet-wise, cosmic-wise. As far as Elenin goes, there's all kinds of stories, there's different pictures. We're probably not going to know until we get it what it really is. If we get anything. Thank God the 11th passed. We didn't get what we thought could happen. We have other factors playing in on this. So it's still something to be very, very, very intent watching on and being prepared for in all ways. We'll go over to spaceweather.com. On the 14th, I believe it was the 14th, the sun spewed some CMEs, and they predicted that we would get a glancing blow. So this is an update. As predicted by analysts at the Goddard Space Weather Lab, a coronal mass ejection hit Earth's magnetic field at 3:30 UT on September 17th. It wasn't a strong impact, nevertheless the arrival could spark geomagnetic activity around the Arctic Circle. Well, we got sun activity and we got seismic activity, and we have other things playing in. We also have they have informed us that they have found a planet with two suns, a la the Star Wars movie with Luke Skywalker. So if anybody ever thought that it couldn't be done, well, they claim they found one. And that's their little opening. The existence of a world with a double sunset, as portrayed in the film Star Wars more than 30 years ago, is now scientific fact. NASA's Kepler mission has made the first unambiguous detection of a circumbinary planet, a planet orbiting two stars 200 light years from Earth. And you can click on that story and finish whatever else you want to go into about that. But this is what they said. They say it's real now and they found one. Let's move to here. This is a prior released article that we want to be remembrant of. Dead satellite will fall to Earth by September's end, NASA is telling us. Alright. Now that was dated the 13th. And there's a picture of the old object that will be dropping out of the sky. And from what they're saying, they won't be able to control where it falls, and somehow they won't be able to do much of anything about it, and we're just going to be having to watch for it. Now, what I have mainly read and heard and looked at, if they have not changed it, if somebody else has heard anything differently, I believe they're projecting anywhere from Alaska to South Africa. So, get on your globe and look where Alaska's at, and look where South Africa's at, and look at all the stuff in between them. So it sounds like they're saying it's either going to splash in the water, or it's going to hit in America or South Africa. So, if you can correct me on that, and they've changed it, updated it or whatever, please send me the information, because this is a very large object, presents many problems on the fall, very much danger, and we need to know as much as we can, as quick as we can about it. This one here is from his old stomping grounds. This one here is the Chicago Tribune, and we have Obama's Solyndra scandal reeks of the Chicago way. Those of us from Chicago know exactly what the Solyndra scandal smells like, and it doesn't smell fresh and green. And you can go down here, and this is dated the 18th, and it's a pretty scathing article. What it's telling us is this little ordeal here, fathered by the teleprompter-in-chief, cost us $500 million. This guy here that lies to us constantly and puts us farther in debt, and now we find another way of why we're in debt thanks to him and his kind. This is a solar panel company. They got a $535 million government-backed loan with the help of the Obama White House over the objection of federal budget analysts. Biden and Obama got to take pictures and look cool and make their speeches about green stuff, but then the company went bankrupt and people lost jobs, taxpayers got stuck with the bill, members of Congress are now in high dudgeon and making speeches. Federal investigators want to know what role political fundraising played in the guarantee of the questionable loan. Washington bureaucrats warned the deal was lousy, and White House spokesmen flailed desperately like weakened victims in a cheesy vampire movie. So forget optics. What about smell? it smells bad, and it's going to smell worse. Did you really believe it when the White House mouthpieces, who are also Chicago City Hall mouthpieces, promised they were bringing a new kind of politics to Washington? I didn't. Many people did, and they have been misled. This is not a new kind of politics, it's the old kind, it's the Chicago kind. And now, the Tribune Washington Bureau has reported the Department of Energy employee who helped monitor the Solyndra loan guarantee was one of Obama's top fundraisers. Huh, imagine that. Steve Spinner was the administration official in charge of handing out billions and billions of tax dollars to green energy deals. Spinner invited Obama's National Political Finance Committee to a meeting in Chicago. The name of the Obama fundraising initiative, Technology for Obama. The idea of the Obama fundraisers getting together, talking green, and perhaps offering taxpayer loan guarantees to insider business in the interest of helping the environment, it all seems rather fresh. Like a mountain meadow. Until you realize it's the same old politics, the same kind practiced in Washington and Chicago and anywhere else where appetites are satisfied by politicians. When the government picks winners and losers, who's the loser? Just look in the mirror. Hold that thought. You got it. The Republicans are hoping to hang this around Obama's neck, and they're doing a pretty good job of it because his approval rating are low and the jobless numbers, well, abysmal. And the Democrats are in panic. But there have been Republican scandals and they're always depressingly similar. And I think that tells everybody something there. The old scratch your back, I'll scratch mine when I have the opportunity. This old smooth talking teleprompter reader, the misleader. Well, Mr. Misleader here has already spoken and opened his mouth, and he has said they will use veto power at the United Nations meeting, and they will veto a vote for Palestinian recognition statehood. So we've already heard him say that's what we will do if they push it and present it. We already know they're pushing it because we can see the pushing of the demonstrations and whatnot throughout the rest of the world, as well as there's some going on even here in the country. Well, from what I understand, it's possible to go a different route. If they go in front of the Security Council, Obama would then be placed in a position in which he either lied and he goes ahead and doesn't do what he said, or he follows through and he votes veto. I believe there's a way they could possibly go around the Security Council and present their case directly to the General Assembly, thereby preventing Obama from having to make a vote and show truly which way he would have voted. So there are, I believe, two options. I believe more than likely they will go to the Security Council. But if that other option is true, and they can present it directly to the General Assembly, then we'll just have to wait and see how they're going to approach it whenever they get there. It is going to be a big thing. You've got all the power pushers of the world there. that they present that we can see. And we're not talking about the ones that pull their strings that are not going to be talked about in the newspaper nor presented in the pictures on the television. But this is what we will be able to see. And the very next day is the National Day of Peace. And after these things occur, well, we will be approaching the dates that we've known about for a long time. And hopefully nothing will happen. But we've seen earthquakes picking up and stuff now, and gee, we really can't say nothing will happen because we don't know. We're not there yet. So everything for me is still everything I've said all along, and I'm going to be watching and praying and hoping. But I believe we're going to see something. And this guy here, old Smiley here, it is to me, I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't. And it is awful funny that during that critical period, he just happens to be there. Now, I've not heard whether his wife and children will be with him or not. That maybe you all have heard, but I have not found anything that told me that yet. So maybe they would be hiding out somewhere else if something were to be occurring and they had foreknowledge. Or maybe she would be with him. We don't know. I would be apt to think there's enough room for them all there, and he'd probably have them with him. We'll find out. We made it to the weekend. That's a good thing, even if them dates are coming up. We got a life to live no matter whether they are or not. And we're not going to stop doing that just because everything around us is doing what it is and above our heads. We're going to continue to be what we are. And even though we've got hard times coming, we're going to do what we do. And we're going to keep fighting to keep going. And we're going to pray to our Lord for strength and guidance and protection. And we're going to trust Him for no matter what happens. He's going to be with us. And we're going to be with Him. So, the sky here has been really blocked out for me for the last 2 days. The temperature went from 100 degrees, and then a couple of days later it was a high of 58, I believe it was. So we had a wild 42 degree swing in 2 days, and a gigantic sheet of cloud. You know, it's not really distinguishable of separate clouds. It just looks like one gigantor white sheet, and it must be pretty thick because whenever nightfall comes, you cannot see anything. I mean, the moon was full during the week, and when that stuff rolled in as it was coming out of full, you couldn't see it. Just like tonight. All you see is nothing. It just looks dark. You don't see any stars at all, and I didn't see any moon at all. Possibly tomorrow. They were saying it was going to warm up, so I'll be looking pretty good in the skies, intensifying. I always look quite a bit, but as time passes and we get close to these alignments, full alignment, and the eclipse point, I'm going to be looking a lot more. And on that note, I think about each of you, and I enjoy talking to all of you and sharing thoughts. Yeah, I take care of these shills. You know, I get beat every so often, but you know, I deal with them. But thanks for all the support and everything. And you can count on me to always help you any way that I can. So God bless everyone, and try to enjoy everything and be aware and prepared as well as you can. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.